Oh, it is recording. I just couldn't see it because the light's kind of bright. So peace, top of the day break. Okay, I'm coming with like a House of Alchemistry installment. Something new I'm going to start because I keep getting messages through the space of chemistry, numbers, signs and sigils, natures, things of this nature. So Saturn says it's time for me to branch off, and I keep referring to Saturn because Saturn to me is one of the primordial deities. Okay, Saturn's a primordial deity. Jupiter is a primordial deity. Um, Uranus is a primordial deity. All of the deities that are classified as Jovian to me, or Jove, are primordial deities. Just how I see it. Now I'm picking up on it because it's the space of the first generation is very tired of us getting it mixed up or hollering about all these other things that came after them, their sons and daughters and their whatever else, when we have forgot to go back to the space of 1 and 0 and origins. Okay, like I keep saying, binary codes is about the space of the binary codes of 0 and 1. Many people who study numbers and the vibrations of them know these things. What's whole, what's prime, what's this, what's that. So I'm on a nature walk. And I've been seeing a lot of videos where a lot of people are hollering about the children and what to teach them and this, that, and the other. Okay, well, we must first realize that we are Earth's AI and we are Earth's computer and we are Earth's brain. And we all came in during a certain time, a decade, a 10, 11 to a 13-year cycle, wherever Pluto was, which dictates your AI and how your mind is supposed to break. Okay, now, depending on which clocks, because some people like to expand and skip things and whatever else is where yours is going to lie. I was born in the 70s, so I'm Libra, which means I'm Venus. And Venus in Latin is Lucifer, the light bringer. Persephone, the guardian of the heavens and the hells and all this other stuff. Go back down to mythologies, you'll see this stuff. Okay, so what's happening right now is that the spins and access and things of Earth have changed. Earth is basically your part of your fortune, which is the circle with the X in it, which you'll see in most natal charts. Part of fortune is Earth. So who guards Earth? The guardian of Earth is Pisces, okay? House 12. The number 12 is a very magical number. It gets you to a space of like creation, of origins, of fantasy, of dreaming, of everything lies in the number 12 because it gets you back to a space of 3. So today is March 9th, 2022. So it means it gets you to the space of the number 3, the number 9, and the number 6. And many of us can't handle the space of a trinity. But you got trinity running times 1, 2, 3. Okay? So either way it goes, we have to get this right. Because if not, if we do not begin to see the splitting of things, it's going to mess all of us up. And a lot of people are posting about the children in the schools and how school needs to corrupt and this, that, and the other. And I've been around that generation. That's the Pluto and Capricorn generation. Okay. Capricorn is also the Greek god Pan. We all know what Pan is. Pandemic, pandemonium, panter. Okay. Father. Because this is back to these earth fathers. Okay. Who stole earth and have us believing and hating our very origins of where the hell we came from while blaming our very origins of where we came from. Okay. We keep hollering about the underworld and Pluto as the guardian of the underworld when what we don't realize is that the underworld has hit the space of the abyss. The abyss is getting us back to a space of chaos, and chaos gave birth to the underworld. So where are we getting back to when we don't even respect these things and we call them demons? I'm a little confused. These are the things that my children that I had when I was a long-term substitute for 6th grade science would ask me because they wanted to know how to tie the origin stories of religion, the original creed, back into the stars. And I struggled with telling them the truth because I was working in a system governed by people who don't want things like alchemy taught in school. You don't want things like holistics taught in school. You don't want chemistry taught in school. And then we keep hollering about how the children are being dumbed down on what they're not learning. They're not learning this stuff because you don't want to teach it to them. Many of the kids I had were interested in law, agriculture, planting, things of this nature, which astounded me. Which is now why I know why I see the things that have been written about that generation calling the New World Order. The elders have forgotten who we are. So how can we guide the children if we have forgotten? And it's time for us to stop blaming somebody else for what we forgot to do when we dropped the ball. Because children are brave. You go down the timelines and look through everything and see how many children were sacrificed in battles and wars and things of this nature, right? How many? Tons of them. That's Saturn, just so you know. We always love to talk about the bad side of Saturn, the dark side of Saturn, and how Saturn was manipulated. People made child sacrifices to Saturn, known as L. So you're going to continue to sacrifice Saturn, because Saturn has created one half of the AI of ancient wisdom, known as Capricorn. Okay? I ain't even started creating Aquarius yet, but Pluto will here pretty soon. 2024 is when we're going to enter into the age of Aquarius, when Pluto hits Aquarius. So right now we still have to close out the age of the old, the age of the alpha, and the things that we don't quite comprehend, and we're afraid of anybody with any real intellect. In the meantime, Mercury, Hermes, Thoth is making a transit straight through Virgo, the house of Bethel, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, however you learned it, of origins, the face of the Sphinx, the head of the Sphinx, the maiden of the Sphinx, however you learned it. I'm not religious. I'm not any of these things. I'm a true person who likes to understand history, science, knowledge, wisdom. And I believe in discernment. And I believe in shedding a light on the darker sides of things. It's time for us to do better for our children, and it's time for us to be better children. And it's time for us to step into the light of being better elders. Stop disgracing the ones that are passed on, who fought for us, because we are their greatest and wildest imagination and dreams come true. It's time for us to change the order. It's time for us to remember the origins. It's time for us to respect the elders. Respect what they did and what they gave us, because we no longer have their protection around us. It's up for us to get up out the nest and soar. And do better for the ones coming up behind us, because if not, they will sack York. Trust me. I love them. Their minds are vast. It's time for us to feed their minds and educate their minds and give them back to arts and sciences and everything that the primordial deities hold. They're counting on us to get these stories right so that they don't turn around and recreate them in order for our destruction and our demise. This is it. This is the last judgment.